Football League scored more. They had the best home record in the whole of the Football League, and not surprisingly, gates here at Bootham Crescent doubled. Well, the man behind York City's revival is Denis Smith, formerly Stoke City's uncompromising centre-half. He took over as player-manager here at the beginning of last season, and is determined not to miss out on promotion this time.
I don't believe in entering any sort of race if you don't want to win, and we expect to get promotion this year. That's what we were going for. We were going for the championship, but I'll settle for finishing in the first four.
Were you in fact good enough to go up last year?
Yes, I think there's no doubt about the fact that well, that's possibly wrong, because if you don't go up, then you're not good enough. I thought we were good enough. We were at home, obviously not away from home. We've got to improve that. We started to get better away from home, possibly the end of January when we played at Crystal Palace in the Cup, and although we got beat, we played extremely well. I think the lads realised that they could do it away from home then, started to pick up, started to play a normal attacking game away from home, and we picked up some better results towards the end of the season away from home.
Near the end of last season, Smith and his chief coach Viv Busby reckoned they already had the players they needed, so there's been no hectic transfer activity during the summer. The experienced Sean Hazelgrave is the only new face. Signed from Crewe on a free transfer, Smith expects him to add stability to the midfield. Up front, there should be no problems if the goal-hungry York strikers carry on where they left off last May. The ever-present Brian Pollard found the net 19 times. Gary Ford finished the season with 14 goals. John Byrne scored 12, and going by his form in pre-season games, Smith expects him to get 20 in the coming campaign. But the key player in the manager's attacking plans is York's Black Pearl, Keith Walwyn. The big centre-forward has scored 49 goals in 2 seasons at Bootham Crescent, a figure that's excited the interest of bigger clubs.
I think the reason that the lad stays in the end is that we're a good club, progressive club. We are going to go places. He wants to come with us. I've always thought that I would be a good manager. I've been working towards being a good manager for about 6 or 7 years, although I've been in the game. I've now got to prove it, and proving it is by getting promotion.
The man in charge at York City also had a fine pedigree as a centre-half. Stoke City supporters will remember Denis Smith as one of their bravest and most loyal players.
O'Callaghan is coming in, here's Garth Brooks. Deflection, oh, it's got in this time!
Now Smith hopes to improve on the 7th place York managed last season, and has a defender in his own mould in the reliable John MacPhail.
The marking going on there. And it's Butlin who hits it against the post, and MacPhail who puts it in!
Unfriendly football club in the whole of the Football League. I don't mean that in terms of hospitality, because York have always been noted for that. I mean it in terms of giving away points. Not since Wimbledon were here last October has any side taken points from York on their own ground, and that's 24 matches ago. I'll be asking player coach Viv Busby the secrets of success in a moment, but first a look at the second division fixtures that's aiming to go right to the top of the class.
Back on, come on, back on. Yes, all right there. Get on. Hey, up the minute. Let me try this. Change. Come on, sharp. Last one of change. Oh, last one of change. It's 10%. Change. Go.
The only thing that let us down last year was our away form, really. I mean, we missed out by 4 points, which, when you look at it, it's one win and 1 draw, because our goal difference was superior. But we started off reasonably well this year. I mean, we've looked good away from home. We won our first away game at Stockport, and we never looked any bother, really. So I think if we can continue in the same vein, the lads are now confident that they can get results away from home. We did very well at Grimsby in the Milk Cup, so they're confident, and I think that's a big part of it. Last year, we stuttered a little bit. We didn't play the same away as we can do at home, and I think if we've got to go out and do that. We've got to play the same away as we do at home, and then size won't live with us.
John, I've just seen a billboard out in the town still talking about your hat-trick here last weekend. That must have been a great moment for you.
Yeah, it was. It was, you know, the first time I scored a hat-trick in league football, like, and, you know, it's very special and that.
John, you know what it takes to take a team out of the 4th Division. You did it after all with Sheffield United a couple of years ago. I mean, could you compare this side at York with the one you were in then?
Yeah, it's more or less just the same kind of thing. I think it's just a team effort to get out the 4th Division. Look, just they're very, very hard teams to beat, you know, and it needs a lot of hard work and dedication to go out the 4th Division, you know.
Well, let's hope it all goes right for you, and at the end of the season you're drinking champagne.
I hope so. Thanks so much. Thank you.
These big three clubs that always seem to dominate the headlines, the region's outstanding football success story can really be found in the 4th Division at York City. Only 3 seasons ago, York had to apply for re-election. Now they sit proudly at the head of the table, and that rapid progress has coincided with the arrival of manager Denis Smith, the former Stoke City centre-half. Well, yesterday, 5th-placed Aldershot were at Bootham Crescent. So too was Roger Thames to report on the managerial team that's turned the tide at York.
Denis Smith's working day started well with the Bell's Whisky Manager of the Month award for the 4th Division. And a drop of the hard stuff seems appropriate with his reputation as a player. But there'll be more than a dram for bearded coach Viv Busby. Yet both would agree they've built on a solid foundation.
When I saw the club at the beginning of the season, when I first came, I knew that it was set up to do well. There was no financial problems. It was well run from the board point of view. There were some good players here. And with a little bit of organisation and change a few of the players around, then we thought we were a good side last year, and we were rather disappointed that we didn't make it last year. So we're not really surprised that we're doing well this year.
You had a reputation for being a hard player. Would you say you're a hard manager?
The fines can be rather stiff at times, as I found out myself when I got sent off last year. Yeah. I think I'm fair. I'm hard but fair. If the lads are out of line, then they get into trouble. But generally, I think they enjoy coming to work for me. I don't think if you talk to the players, they've got any complaints. People think this is my first job and it's the first time I've done any. I've been working it for sort of 7 or 8 years in different aspects through going on coaching courses, management courses, and trying to improve that side of it. So I'm not totally new to it. I want to be successful at management. I think I can be. If I can do it with York, then I'll say it at York. It's a super club, super board, everything's going right. If an offer comes which is a lot bigger, then they'll have to talk to my chairman about that.
It's good to say a policeman's lot is a happy one at York. There's a friendly atmosphere about the place. Many fans too remember that less than 10 years ago the team were playing Manchester United in the 2nd Division. And they've cup memories as well when York reached the semi-finals in 1955 as a 3rd Division club. Now there's a genuine feeling about the city that the good old days are back again. Certainly this game would give the York players a good yardstick as to their promotion potential. Aldershot were in good form, having climbed from 7th bottom to 5th top. If everything on the field looks so promising, it's only because of the progress that's also been made off the pitch. 5 years ago, York were £100,000 in the red. Now the overdraft has been cleared at the same time as ground improvements continue. Yet Denis Smith has rebuilt the team entirely on free transfers. It's not surprising he enjoys his chairman's admiration.
The directors have worked very hard in all departments of the club for the last 5 years to get it right. But the one area we couldn't get it right was on the field. And he came, and all credit due to him, he's put every department of the playing right. And he's brought us success on the field, and the club's gone forward from there.
Smith's first job was to rebuild the whole defence, but York are recognised as a goal-scoring side, the result of a committed policy to attack.
I set out to entertain. The crowds were very poor in the first half, sort of 1,700-1,800. So we had got players in the side who could score goals, and got the goal scorers already here. So we said, OK, let's encourage that even more. Get people believing that when they're coming down here, they're going to see goals, and it's going to be entertaining.
Aldershot were showing why they'd won the last 4 games, but a moment's madness virtually cost them the match. Some ferocious tackling involving Les Lawrence saw the big centre-forward lash out, and Byrne referee David Scott instantly sent him packing. Aldershot were down to 10 men after just 20 minutes. Not surprisingly, York piled on the pressure after that. And it was the impressive John Byrne who always threatened. They look a promotion side, but don't say that to Viv Busby.
We never talk about promotion, although we like to think that we're going to make it, you know. But in this game, nothing's a matter of fact, as you know yourself. I mean, 1 minute you're on top of the world, and the next minute you get a kick in the teeth. It's got a nasty habit of doing that. So you've got to keep everybody rather level-headed, like, and just keep working, and things will come for you if you keep working at it.
A York goal seemed inevitable, and it duly arrived just before half-time. Gary Ford chases the half clearance and keeps the momentum going. Now watch out for some lethal finishing from John Byrne. It's his 13th goal of the season, and it's that sort of style that's kept the fans happy.
He's brought in right good players, and he's got a right good mixture. He has youth, and experience. He's got a good team together.
Well, I first started watching them when they were bottom of the 4th, and they've improved a hell of a lot since then. They're playing really well now. Good attacking football. This is what the crowds like to see.
Oh, great team. Best two we've had here for a long time, Denis and Viv. Two of the best we've had. I think they'll keep it up till the end of the season.
Victory was sealed in the second half, and again the busy Gary Ford was involved. A neat ball to fullback Steve Senior, who's made a great run. His cross rebounds off the post, and first to it is 18-year-old Alan Pearce to score in only his second game. 2-0 to York, and the club's progress continues.
This season we're getting obviously the best gates in the 4th division. We're averaging nearly 5,000, and we're getting very good gates. And I think if we were successful in the 3rd division, we get better gates. And if we were successful in the 2nd division, we get good gates again. I compare us very much to towns like Norwich and Ipswich. And I believe that if we continue to have success on the field, we can become a 3rd, 2nd, and in the not too distant future, I hope a 1st division club as well.
Here is Blackpool 3rd in the table, away to Reading, who are 4th and the highest scorers throughout the league. Mind you, leaders York have scored only 2 goals fewer. Today York are at home to Stockport, and they need just 1 point to become the first club this season to top 50 points. It's a great tribute to the relatively new management team of Denis Smith and Viv Busby, especially as York is a city where football usually takes a back seat to tourism. Reporting, John Motson.
Yesterday's high winds may have damaged the Minster, but York is essentially a placid city of medieval architecture, pleasant streets, and a gentle way of life. Its tranquility mirrored in its river, its bridges, and the city's famous bar walls. The football club is not something you stumble across at first sight, but these days it certainly isn't out of mind. A small staff works hard under manager Denis Smith.
If the weather's not too bad, you don't expect too much rain between now and Saturday, do you? From Balltree, the edge of report through.
O'Callaghan is coming in, here's Garth Brooks. Deflection, oh, it's got in this time. Denis Smith stayed forward.
Smith's assistant, his former Stoke teammate Viv Busby, wants of Luton, Fulham and Norwich.
And here's Busby. Still all to him, and Busby scores! Did it superbly well.
In the York dressing room, Smith and Busby preach a simple message. They have just 16 players and don't subscribe to the view that management is a difficult job.
Everybody tells me it's supposed to be. I've not found it difficult up to yet, John. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've been looking into management for sort of 7 or 8 years, so it wasn't new to me from that side of it. I'd looked into it, I'd worked on that side as far as I wanted to know what managers were doing, talked to a lot of managers, got a lot of bits and pieces from different managers, and when I thought that I could do the job, since I've been in it, I've been reasonably successful, and possibly that's why I'm enjoying it, and that's why I'm finding it fairly easy. But up to yet, I've not found it difficult. I'm sure there'll come a time when something will become difficult, I don't know.
I think we've got a nucleus of a side here that can go into the 3rd and into the 2nd, and perhaps if the lads do very, very well indeed, then they can get plucked out of this side and go into the 1st division without any problem. I mean, the skill level here is very high indeed, and that pleases me because I like to work with people that have got skill.
21-year-old John Byrne has skill which has produced 16 goals this season, and Keith Walwyn, his partner in attack, has 15. 37-year-old goalkeeper Roger Jones is one of 6 men Smith has signed without paying a fee, and the next generation is already on the way. York's management decided when they took over to rebuild the link with local schools and prevent the city's young talent being spirited away to places like Middlesbrough, Hull and Leeds. This interest towards the local community is now being reciprocated. The kids now follow York City, a club with a sense of purpose.
The club's well run from the top down. The board do their job right. We've cut the staff down, but I think the quality of the players is better. And with the gates that we're getting in, then we can make a profit.
Well, appropriately enough, as we're in York, the 2-man firm of Smith and Busby has an architectural ring about it. And it seems certain that the platform they've built here will launch York City into the 3rd division and maybe as far as the 2nd, where the club had a short spell in the 70s. But just how long can the 6-man board of directors here at Bootham Crescent realistically expect to hold on to their manager?
I thought I was ready to manage in the 1st division as soon as I stopped playing. I think I can manage in the First Division. I think I can manage anywhere. I think that's what I'd be good at. If you're going to be good at this job, at any, you've got to want to manage at the top level, and that's the First Division. If you've got to be involved with football, you've got to want to play there, you've got to want to manage there. And yes, I think I can manage in the First Division without any problems.
City and Blackpool, one of the chasing clubs, both enjoying home advantage. Commentator John Watson.
In the shadow of Blackpool's most famous landmark, Bloomfield Road, a ground of many memories, among them a sweet one for York City, who in 1955 beat Matthews and Company here in their heyday and went on to reach the FA Cup semi-final. Well, the modern York have a goal-scoring double act of John Byrne, whose 17th goal of the season beat Chesterfield on Tuesday, and Keith Walwyn, who has 16 so far, and like Byrne, scored twice against Blackpool in a 4-0 win at York in October. York also have two former Blackpool players, number 4 Ricky Sprazier and number 11 Brian Pollard, and they've won their last 5 away games in the league. Blackpool include 2 England youth internationals, number 6 Colin Greenall and number 9 Paul Stewart. Ian Britton at number 7 is the former Chelsea player, and making his debut at number 3 for Blackpool is Mike Walsh, signed this week from Manchester City. The referee this afternoon is Peter Tildesley from Stockport. What an incentive here for Blackpool in the Tangerine Strip, playing from right to left. They're the home side today, in 5th position in the table, but York City, the leaders, have won 8 and drawn 1 of their last 9 league games. York are in blue. Walwyn was the target there. Forward by Crosby. And there was Senior going in low. Stewart challenged him, play on to the referee. This is forward for York. Byrne, Britton in there for Blackpool, number 7. It's his tackle, McNiven. Windridge joining in. And the York goalkeeper is the veteran Roger Jones, 37, and also the team captain. This is McNiven. And it's his ball in for Walsh, away by Sprazier. Back again to McNiven from Rodaway. And now Byrne. He's up against Hetsky here. And Ford, the man running on. Greenall, the defender, only as far as Senior. And it's going to come to Pollard with a chance for York. Appeals for handball. The referee waved them away. Britton, offside, Stewart. Half chance there for Brian Pollard against his old club. Up goes Walwyn, good jump, forward. Walwyn, back to Crosby. So the throw to be taken by Hay for York, looking for Byrne. Defender is Windridge. And he got himself down the line, but then gave it away. Pollard. Byrne. Mercer for Blackpool. Stewart, number 9. Forward run by Ian Britton in the centre. Senior was the defender who pushed Stewart over. Blackpool will push Hetsky and Greenall forward for the free kick. And that was Hetsky up and a chance. Is he offside on the far side? He's let it go. Keith Mercer coming in. The former Watford player, Keith Mercer, always dangerous in those positions. They looked for an offside, did York, from the first flick on by Hetzke. But when Mercer got the ball, he drove it low past Roger Jones to put Blackpool into the lead and to confirm his position as their top scorer. That's his 11th of the season. 13 minutes gone, unlucky for York. A real Watford connection there. Mercer was a player under Graham Taylor with Sam Ellis, the present Blackpool manager. And forward goes Stewart for Blackpool. Jones coming out. Well, Blackpool worked hard on their set plays. They were training on the pitch this morning, and Mercer, hovering on that far side, took his chance well. Sprazier, senior. Hetzke for Blackpool. Well, that was not ideal for Ian Britton, to say the least. And it's given Pollard the chance to break for York. Went inside nicely, did Pollard. Here comes Malcolm Crosby, who topped his shot completely. Hasn't scored this season. Former Aldershot player. That was nicely set up for him by Brian Pollard, actually. He rolled it back very invitingly, but Crosby missed his kick. 20 minutes gone. Blackpool 1, York City 0. Britton. And Windridge, the player running, Hay, the defender. Windridge has the ball. And he's found McNiven, and it was back to Stewart. And Britton is forward! Oh, what a fine goal! Ian Britton has put Blackpool 2 up, and it was beautifully worked. It came from the throw, and the combination, Stewart knocked it on first off. But when Britton finished that, possibly the smallest player on the field, the header beat Jones to his right. Ian Britton salutes the fans. 21 minutes gone. Blackpool 2, York City 0, and the 4th Division leaders are struggling. To the delight of the Bloomfield Road crowd. Test now of York's calibre, to say the least. Crosby, who could have made it 1-1 2 minutes earlier, but it's 2-0, and here comes Windridge. Well, little Ian Britton, a good player when he was at Chelsea, went to Dundee United for a spell, came here recently and is beginning to make his mark. Hood just isn't running for York at all at the moment. Stewart having a lot of influence there for Blackpool in the build-up. Played an important part in that second goal, did Paul Stewart. This is Hay. Battling by Walsh, then Rodaway for Blackpool. That's a fine ball by Rodaway to Mercer. Good, swift attacking football from the home side, and the fans responding to it. Rodaway, number 4, played a fine pass through, and Mercer, on a high at the moment, was prepared to try a shot early. That was Hood. Senior. Be a free kick. Walsh penalised for a foul on Ford. Senior takes the kick, looks for Byrne. Appeals for handball, but only by the crowd. Senior, playing it in early, looking for Walwyn. Hood was there. Pollard is there for York. And out from underneath the crossbar, almost. Steve Hetzke, what a great clearance, with his goalkeeper nowhere. Pollard's attempt from Hood's pass beat the goalkeeper, but Hetzke made a dramatic clearance. Corner to York. And Sprazier with the flick, and Walwyn trying to force it home. You'll just see Denis Smith wearing the hat in the front row of the director's box there. On by Mercer. Windridge came inside. Good effort, it was blocked. And a good thing for York it was. Well struck on the turn by David Windridge. They don't need to be asked twice to shoot, Blackpool. Match. Blackpool have a 2-0 lead. Ian Britton's flick header provided the second, following a goal by Keith Mercer after a free kick. 13 minutes and 21 minutes, the times of the goals, and Blackpool, with a good advantage with the wind behind them in that first half, have made good to the tune of 2-0 against the leaders. York City have not lost a league match by a 2-goal margin this season up to now. And in the second half, as they attack the left-hand end, they might reflect that the Blackpool goals came from a free kick and a throw-in. Having won possession in the York half, they made the most of their set plays. And Roger Jones, the veteran York keeper, self-critical fellow that he is, might look back on the first goal and wonder if he could have covered the near post. Stewart. Well played by Paul Stewart. Good skill. And a good cross. And it's sliced away by Pollard. Stewart. Good turn and shot. In one movement, he turned and hit that well. Walwyn offside again. Britton looks left, nobody there. Here's Stewart. And Pollard up to clear only as far as Moore. Oh, what a fine goal. It's David Moore's first for Blackpool. And how well struck. Stewart worked hard on the left. The cross, only Pollard could reach it for York. His clearance went to David Moore, and that one gave Roger Jones no chance. 62 minutes gone, it's Blackpool 3, York 0. York could be on for their biggest beating of the season, and Blackpool could be on for sweet revenge after their 4-0 defeat at York in October. David Moore, the perfect strike. Very blustery conditions here at Bloomfield Road. Well played by Byrne there, but I'm afraid his finishing today has not lived up to his own considerable reputation. Hasn't had many chances, but when he's had them, hasn't quite been on song. Crowd have been shivering a little bit, hunching their shoulders, but a good performance by Blackpool, and not very easy conditions for our cameraman up there either. Rodaway. Moore. Windridge is well forward in the middle. Rodaway. Well, that was Pollard on Stewart. Been given penalty. Poor Brian Pollard, playing against his old club. His attempted clearance led to the third goal, and now he's given away a penalty which could lead to the fourth. Pollard stretching to tackle Paul Stewart from behind, brought him down, and it's a penalty to Blackpool to be taken presumably by their captain Hetzke, who's been the penalty taker this season. And he blasts this one high and wide. Well, certainly put plenty of power into it, but it was some way away. So 3 goals and a missed penalty in a very entertaining 4th division match. Here's Byrne. But York is still working at it. Walwyn with a chance here. Greenall came over with the header. Walwyn still battling, and Pearce forced to make a sharp save. he's played well, actually, Steve Hetzke, but the last few minutes he won't want to remember. And there's going to be a Blackpool substitution. The man coming off is Paul Stewart, and the man coming on is John Deary. Crosby. Walwyn. Byrne. Looking for Pollard. Here's Hay, and now it's Hood, and it's played in for Byrne and for Ford. Up goes Britton and Mercer. And over comes Hetzke. That was Byrne again. And York City's first league defeat since the 12th of November and their heaviest of the season. A fine performance by Blackpool, with the 2 full-backs figuring. David Moore with his first goal for the club, Blackpool's 3rd on the day. Mike Walsh on his debut had a hand in that, and York City, the leaders, were frankly never in the match. Blackpool even managed to miss a penalty as they ran out comprehensive winners here at Bloomfield Road by 3 goals to 0.
No arguing about that result. Blackpool very determined indeed. But I did appreciate how York City are where they are. Although overwhelmed on the day, they kept trying to play the football that has rewarded them.
To win against Crewe. It was City's best performance of the year after 1 or 2 disappointing displays recently. City in the red played some lovely football, and their early raids were impressive, and they had an early chance to score. Hazelgrave's pass finds Gary Ford, only spoilt by the finishing. City's pressure did pay off after 13 minutes. Alan Hayes' corner is headed on by John MacPhail, and there's Ricky Gibrega to score. But after 27 minutes, Crewe's reply was superb. Tony Cliss hitting home a 25-yard effort, giving Jones no chance. But City were determined to go forward, and here's Keith Walwyn going past 2 defenders and just shooting wide. In the second half, City's direct play continued. John Byrne, always tricky, was just wide with this lovely shot. York did break through with another sparkling raid. The move involved John Byrne, Gary Ford, Sean Hazelgrave and Steve Senior before Alan Pearce finally let fly from just inside the box. 2-1. For City, this was the start of a real goal blitz and the best football of the night. Byrne sends Hazelgrove clear down the right. Hazelgrave looks up, sees Walwyn, and that lovely cross should have ended in a goal. But minutes later, City made it 3-1. Seniors cross this time, converted by Walwyn coolly, if painfully in the end. The next goal came from a through ball to Byrne. The goal looks certain until Hart trips him and a penalty is awarded. The job is given to Steve Senior, and despite Naylor's save, Byrne fittingly scores from the rebound. Justice for a change seemed to be done. City's fifth was another well-taken effort. The free kick from the right is headed on by MacPhail, and watch this for a lovely finish, Walwyn scoring City's fifth. Who scored a consolation goal at the end to make it a final score, 5-2.
The biggest 4th Division crowd of the season watched yesterday's promotion match between York City and Doncaster Rovers. Nearly 12,000 fans squeezed into Bootham Crescent in York, and I was among them. Many of York's biggest crowd for 9 years, who paid club record receipts of £22,000, were hoping to go away celebrating. A victory for York would virtually clinch the championship, but it was Doncaster who drew first blood, Glennsnoddin sneaking round the back of York's defence to score. Within minutes, though, the home side were awarded a penalty, much to the consternation of the Doncaster team and fans. They needn't have worried. So, a penalty to York City. Here's John Byrne. Oh, what a save by Peacock, but following in, it's Ford who lifts it over the top. A tremendous drama here. Doncaster still in front then, but not for long. The hero was to turn villain. Oh, the keeper's way off his line. Gary Ford chips in. Oh, is it going to be 1-1? What a disastrous goal from Doncaster goalkeeper Peacock's point of view. And that turned out to be the end of the scoring. The whistle sounded with honours even, and the champagne in the York dressing room had to stay on ice.
Yes, the champagne's on ice. I think it was a better result for us than it was for them, because they needed to win to put pressure on us. We've just got another game out of the way, really. If we'd have won, I think we could have said, yes, we're up. We should get up now, but it's the championship really we want. And it was a championship game, that, today.
A marvellous atmosphere here, nearly 12,000 people.
Yeah, terrific, isn't it? And for 4th Division too. It shows you that football's not dead. And hopefully the supporters that came and watched us today will be there next week at Bellevue.
And that result left York still needing one more victory to be absolutely sure of promotion. Doncaster have games in hand on all the other leading sides, so there could be double course for celebration before.
Chester last night gave them the point they needed to return to the 3rd Division after an absence of 7 years. Even though they didn't win, it proved to be quite a night for the team and the fans, and it couldn't have got off to a better start, could it? Only 4 minutes in, and a low cross was blasted home by Derek Hood. Chester, though, came back quickly, equalising 2 minutes later. But City really got into their stride in the second half, only the keeper and the woodwork keeping them out. Keith Walwyn's header producing a fine save from Warrington. City continued to build up the pressure. Alan Hayes break down the wing, setting up a good chance for striker Gary Ford. Then, once again, the woodwork rescued Chester. This time it's John Byrne who was unlucky. Even the best chance in the second half was squandered. John Byrne's through ball knocked against the bar by John MacPhail. And what else but champagne on promotion night, and the proudest man there, manager Denis Smith.
We're disappointed at the fact that we didn't win. We're hitting the woodwork 3 times. The keeper had a good game in the second half. They only had 1 shot on target. Unfortunately, that went in. But we would have liked to have won, but it's pleasing. The lads were a bit flat when they come in, but they've got singing now. They've got a couple of glasses of champagne down them, and they're flying a bit. So we're up, and now we're going for the championship.
the 4th Division. City's 3-0 win over Bury yesterday confirmed their championship and pushed them into the record books as the first team to accumulate 100 league points in one season. And the people of York turned out in force to do their team proud last night. Derek Hood hammered in York's second goal from a free kick in front of a crowd of more than 8,000. And Gary Ford made sure of victory in the last minute of the game to put City 3-0 up. The fans made their feelings clear with a good-natured invasion of the pitch, but no one minded as City played out the final seconds in scenes more reminiscent of a cup final. For manager Denis Smith, it meant the climax of 2 years' hard work at the club. It was 10 years ago that York last won promotion, and for the crowd at Bootham Crescent, this was a moment to be savoured. The York players became the first in history to hold the Canon Trophy. Then it was on to an open-top bus for a triumphal parade through the city centre, and thousands more fans lined the streets to show their support for the team. And the players themselves led the singing all the way to the Mansion House.
I remember the last time that this kind of occasion took place. I remember that we went up from the 4th Division to the 3rd Division to the 2nd Division. I suggest there is a slight difference, that on this occasion we go up with the finest side that the 4th Division have ever seen.
And let's hope that they can go straight into the 2nd Division.
Club ever to get 100 points in the Football League. It won them the 4th Division Championship and of course promotion. But there are exceptions. York City are Division 4 champions by a record-breaking mile. Yesterday, in front of more than 8,000 fans, they crushed Bury with 3 superb goals and many near misses. But it was always going to be far more than an ordinary match at Bootham Crescent. The win took City to 101 points, another bit of history for this historic city, and it took their goal tally to 95. Well, after they'd received the 4th Division trophy and their supporters' acclaim, the team set off through the ancient streets of the city in an open-top bus for a civic reception at the Lord Mayor's Mansion House.
Now we've got the hands on the trophy, and that is what it's all about. We've got the 100 points, we're in the record books, nobody can ever take that away from us. We're the first team ever to get 100 points, that's superb.
Marvellous scenes though at the end of today's match.
Yeah, I mean the people have waited a long time here to win something, I think it's 60 odd years, and they never won anything. Oh, they got promotion and they got to an FA Cup semi-final, but today they've actually got something, and that's great. That's pleasing for them and it's pleasing for us.
Well, no doubt. Different city, York, better known for its history and beauty than its football team. York were forced to apply for re-election 2 years ago, but now York City Football Club are making history too. The ancient city of York, so steeped in history, has seen many glorious days. Over the years, indeed through the centuries, the story of this proud city is one of conquering heroes adding something special to the place. The Romans, the Vikings, more recently, more commercially, the millions of tourists. Well, now we can add to that long list York City Football Club. There may be a certain incongruity in bracketing history with soccer success, but try telling that to the sports historians at the turn of the century. Well, more than 8,000 fans piled into Bootham Crescent on Monday to see the record books rewritten, and they were not disappointed. With 3 superb goals, City did much more than destroy their rivals Bury. They became the first team in league history to notch up more than 100 points in a season. They created a new goal-scoring record, 95. They pushed their average gate past the 5,000 mark. It was their 31st win of the season, a new club record. When the final whistle went, the supporters were ready to salute in style York's new Centurions. With the new 4th Division trophy now in their possession, the team did what all the best Roman soldiers and Viking warriors always did, show off the spoils to the people. With an open-top bus as their chariots, they set off through the streets for a journey to a civic reception at the Lord Mayor's Mansion House.
We've got the 100 points, we're in the record books, nobody can ever take that away from us. We're the first team ever to get 100 points, that's superb.
It's not only Denis and myself, I mean, it's the lads that have done it. I mean, they've played 46 games and 46 times they've worked hard. They've enjoyed
45.
It. Well, 45 then, all right, so there's a game to go. But, you know, at the end of the year, it'll be 46 appearances where they've given everything they've got. And at the end of the day, he's holding that, but they've won it.
Well, I always thought like York was not a football city, but then as you can see for yourself, it is. I mean, if we do well next year, then who knows, we may make it 10,000 come.
All I can say is that I hope, and I'm sure that we will be, standing here this time next year celebrating the championship of the Fourth Division. Thank you for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed this season. Thank you.